Hi, Unemployed here. I'm finally back from hibernation, so let's continue with our seasonal tier list. So, what was the last tier list I have made? Damn, this time traveling is crazy. Out of all the amazing shows I could have watched, like Gabloon Generic Romance, which I didn't because I don't fucking know, or Witch Watch, where I wanted to read the manga for a long time and never got the time for it, and now I don't want to spoil it by watching the anime, or even Fire Force, and I just choose to watch the beginning after the end and put them on Takamine-san. If there is gonna be Summer 2025 video, which there will be, look I have proof, there is gonna be way more better shows, trust me. So this piece of art is just horrible. I can't even pretend for the fun of the video. Yeah, it's etchy, but the quality is just terrible. Still better than the beginning after the end though. There's just one thing that bothers me. Does she have control over her powers, or will she just change something 2 times before she can take her bath, or do literally anything else when she gets naked? This ability sounds more like a nuisance than helpful. Am I putting way too much thought into this? Yes, I am. This is garbage anime like the main female lead. She's beautiful but rotten to the core. Fuck her and her manipulative nature. She's a huge egoistic maniac, and frankly, I can't fix her. F tier. The brilliant healer's new life in the shadows. So basically, this guy is a self-taught healer who lacks the common knowledge of healing. So because he never went to any school and never learned any basics, he basically broke every rule, and his understanding of healing is way beyond anyone's knowledge, and he kinda becomes extremely OP, who is also extremely clueless. It's not some masterpiece in storytelling, world building, or characters development. It's very simplistic, and in some cases even very much forgettable, but goddamn, it's fucking enjoyable. I really do like the main character traits. His edginess and his very meme-like responses are my kind of humor, and he does have the vibe of Kazuma from Wish. As I've said, it is very simplistic with some story parts that are genuinely interesting, and others that I would rather sit on a cactus than go through these episodes again. And worst factor of those episodes was the Ginger character. And it has nothing to do with him being Ginger, I just can't be bothered to remember his name, I promise. So that character was extremely annoying and irritating, and it just destroys the whole comedy vibe I had with this anime. When I look at it, he does reminds me a lot of Zenitsu from Demon Slayer, which is arguably the worst character ever created. So that's probably why I hated every scene with this character, and also because he's Ginger. B tier. Well. After 4 years of waiting, we're finally back with the best chilling anime. There's nothing much to say. I really love the first season, and I'm pretty sure I'm not alone on this. Is the second season as good as the first one, or even better? No. It apparently has a different animation, and it doesn't feel the same, and I'll be honest, if people didn't mention it, I wouldn't even notice the changes. And also, it's not entertaining as the first season. And yes, I agree, the first season was peak pandemic anime, but is this season still funny? Yes. Is this the same wholesome anime about a witch and her family? Yes. It is a different story. Instead of building a family and being introduced to a whole bunch of characters, we're now watching a normal life of this family with a whole bunch of side stories. I see why people would say it's not as entertaining as the first season. I'm the people as well, but it is still the same funny and relaxing anime. I also look at the first season and I do see the downgrade in animation, but just this fight alone is significantly better than the entire season of the beginning after the end. So stop fucking complaining and relax and enjoy this masterpiece. Can a boy-girl friendship survive? No, it cannot. And you know what can't also survive? My fucking patience with this anime. I hate it, but at the same time, I really like it. I should probably tell you why I like it, but I don't know. Maybe it's the nicest story of a guy having a dream and basically doing what he loves. And also the dynamics between the two characters. But then there is the romance and the drama side, and the drama in this anime is just off. How am I supposed to take these moments seriously? Be annoyed by one side and root for the other, or just understand their feelings and justifying their actions when there is the biggest drama, she makes the biggest scene, and she makes herself look like a total bitch, especially with her further manipulation. But none of that fucking matters, because this whole drama is resolved by just saying, yeah, she's an asshole, and now they have feelings for each other. Again, I'm very conflicted if I like it or not. Some of the decisions the characters makes are so extremely stupid that I want to just tear my hair out, and most of the time, none of them makes fucking sense. But the characters are compelling, except for Himari. I love her, but Jesus Christ, please burn. And the story is the same. It's really good story with a really good development, or at least would be if they structured it correctly, but the forced drama and the weird decision, I don't know if I like it or if I hate it. It's both at the same time. I love the characters, but I hate the stupid drama. And then there is the ending. So here's the thing. The last episode is crazy. All the closure and finally saying their true feelings to each other and letting go of their dreams, because true love is the thing that makes their dream. Love that. But here's the catch. You can't make me care about their love and their feelings when this whole time, you presented Himari as this extremely manipulative shit person that doesn't deserve anything. I just can't seem to like this ending if I don't like the character or more like what she has done. She constantly lies and manipulates the MC for her own personal gain. She doesn't care about anything else than her and her feelings. If she wants something, she will do anything to get it. And you can't just create this obnoxious character that her only foreseeable future I can see is break flying on her head. I like the feelings and the ending, not the characters that was the ending for, especially Himari. You can throw the argument that Himari felt like a real human character. She can make mistakes and struggle to learn from them. So here's my fucking question. Where exactly did she learn anything from her thesis and lies? Can we go back to the point where she's going to a totally different country, literally started crying, and then when he was determined to throw away literally everything just for her, it turns out it was all a lie, and then they were again all together like nothing ever fucking happened? Am I the crazy one for thinking that she just manipulates and gaslights him the entire fucking anime? Like, don't get me wrong, the MC's fucking retarded as well, that he still just have his eyes on her. I get it, that she's like his true best friend, but even there has to be a line between friends and manipulative asshole. The longer this anime went on, the more I knew who to cheer on, and honestly, the only winner that should be here is the big brother. Not only is the greatest character that carries this entire show, he's also the best girl, and just for him, this anime goes to C tier. The beginning after the end is my most favorite manhwa, and my second to most favorite isekai ever, which is why I'm gonna extremely judge this adaptation. Now, if I've never read the original manhwa, I have to say the story itself is still pretty fine for some mediocre isekai anime. It does everything enough to be 5 out of 10, and even some of the episodes aren't half bad. But I've read the light novel and I love the manhwa, and this was genuinely one of the most disappointing adaptations ever. They have skipped through so many important things, they have scrapped so many parts of the story and ideas, and the parts they left there are PowerPoint presentation. The story of beginning after the end has so much potential that none of the people working on it ever saw. Pointing at the extremely bad animation is just waste of my fucking time. Honestly, nothing personal, those are still people working overtime for a minimum salary. But don't look at the studio and don't smile. Like, genuinely, who gave the studio green light for this anime? What a disgusting fucking idea. And they think they will make second season. Also, while editing this, I've noticed that the director for TBATE is the same guy that directed Kingdom of Ruins. If there's anyone unfortunate enough like me, we know how that adaptation turned out. The beginning after the end deserved better. This is just execution, man. Overall, as extremely mid isekai, it works. But as an adaptation of one of the greatest isekais ever written, this is disgrace that skipped through every important thing and never managed to capture the greatness of the story. I could extend this by showing you examples and totally let loose, but why fucking bother? I just don't have the strength to shit on this. I'm just extremely disappointed that now so many people will have this anime memorized as that one anime with PowerPoint fights and as the shittier version of Mushoku Tensei. So this cannot go anywhere else than in F tier. Windbreaker second season. Well, speaking of Windbreaker, this video took me so long to make that they even canceled the superior one. Yeah, that's a joke. There's none. I just wanted to throw this little information out there. It was one of my favorite manhwas and it's kind of fucked up to see it how it ended. Anyway, the shittier Windbreaker. I don't have the best memory. That's why I appreciate recap episodes as I watch more animes and get older. I'm just 1 year away to be closer to 30 than 20. Cheers, that mate. Fucking GG. Or just end your season properly and not in the middle of an hour. That was my biggest issue with the Windbreaker, when they introduced new enemies, new characters and their struggles, and then they just ended the season before the conclusion. So going into the second season, Windbreaker, as I have said, doesn't feel right. But sure, that is just a small issue. After all, this season is more about yapping than fighting. Now I don't mind the character development and their change or the professional yapping. If you have interesting story with interesting characters to tell, I don't really care. But holy shit, the second part of the season with Shizuka's storyline is extremely unnecessary and cheesy. All of her decisions are so fucking stupid that the Himari next to her looks like a fucking sane person. And all of their conflicts feel just so fucking weird. Like, there's a whole ass brawl happening. So many people are getting beat up to unconscious state. And is there no police in this world? Is this an isekai or the weird kids movie where all adults disappeared? It's impossible to watch these animes with common sense. This was supposed to be the better Tokyo Revengers, but I see the same fucking issues. And lastly, there's a new character, Tsubaki. I'm not saying this character is making this anime bad, but the first season was so much better than the second one, and in only one of them, Tsubaki is the main side character. I'm not saying it is the character's fault, but there are some implications. And yeah, Tsubaki made this season extremely awkward, and that's all I will say. If I say more, I'll be in trouble. I'm not the biggest fan of the direction this season took. joke. The yapping, the characters' backstories are even more uninteresting than in the previous season. And lastly, I don't need it to see Tsubaki pole dancing. B tier. From old country bumpkin to master swordsman. So this guy thinks he's some useless, untalented fossil, but actually he's really good with swords. So good that he's worthy of being called the master. And he gets the opportunity to get a title and show his skills when he joins as the instructor for, I don't know, I couldn't research. The story is pretty much very simple. This guy thinks he's not that good and he's fucking old, but everyone else acknowledges his skills as swordsman. There's some action between the funny moments, not much, but there is some, and not some flashy ADHD high budget animation, but something much better. What this anime excels at are these action moments. The MC is really strong, but not OP, and it's the action that showcases all the rights. It focuses more on the movement and how much he thinks about it. He easily could lose a fair fight against the skillful swordsman, but because he thinks about small things like posture or slight movement, that is what makes him so strong. Observe enemies' movement, understand them, and correct the answer to them. That's what I really like about this anime. Even with magic and anime logic, the overpoweredness still feels closer to real life. I'm not swordsman, but the choreography does showcases way more realistic sword fights than any other anime, and that's what makes this so fucking good. How it distinguishes its action from random anime bullshit goes brr to extremely realistic and slow fights. You don't need a fantastic story that expands throughout the seasons. You don't need complex and unforgettable characters when the focus of this anime is the sword fighting, and the sword fighting here is fucking S tier. Lazarus was very interesting anime, and I just have some things to say about it. The philosophical things this anime dives into are pretty interesting when you stop and think about them. The episode 7 is genuinely one of the most beautiful episodes this season, but I just feel like that the hidden message this anime tried to tell didn't really had an impact or anything. And one of my biggest issues with this anime was the detective part. So far in every episode they go through a lot but never accomplishes anything. It also almost feels like if we were to just delete these episodes, the story wouldn't really change. Yeah, all these episodes are slow steps to find this one guy, and with each episode we get to know more about the characters and get the true message of this anime, but the feeling of there being no payoff for anything they are doing, or the feeling like that these episodes are made for one specific thing, like showcase a cool fight or introduced a new character but never getting close to their actual goal. Don't get me wrong, this is a really good anime and I have enjoyed it, but there's this weird feeling of watching just a bunch of filler episodes with the bigger meaning being easily missable for my stupid brain. The topics that this anime wanted to explore were extremely complicated, and the biggest flaw of this entire story is its length. It's way too short to properly dive into these topics and have the entire story around them. All the progression, the action sequences, the characters and their development, the ending, all of it felt rushed. It didn't have enough time to tell everything it wanted to. I really liked it, but if it was way longer, then all the topics wouldn't be just an acknowledgement but the main focus. Wait, hold on a fucking second. Isn't it the guy they're looking for? Okay, if the homeless guy is actual Skinner, I'm ending myself. Okay. And so this is my glorious spring anime tier list of 2025. Yeah, I know, it's like August and it's almost the end of the summer, but that's fine. And well, because no one is ever watching the end of the videos, I can just talk about whatever I want, which is I've been having a really terrible year, which I do just apologize for that. I do want to make a lot of videos. I just never had the passion for it, and I was extremely depressed and I didn't want to do anything. And when I finally wanted to do something, which is like the spring anime, I've been sick the entirety of July. Like I couldn't do anything. For the past like 2 years, I've been mentally extremely drained and I was just really off with everything and I didn't want it to do anything. But now I do have back my passion onto making videos and talk about anime, manga and other stuff that I like. And I also try to stream almost every single day my other stuff that I like, which is gaming. I do love video games and I do love making challenges in these video games and do other stuff. So if you want to hang out, you can go on Twitch, or if not, then don't worry, I have a lot, and I mean a lot of ideas that I want to do and talk about. Mark my words, 2026 is my year. Thanks so much for watching. If there is still someone, thank you for listening and have a wonderful rest of your day or night, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.